Now, batting for the Everyman guys, it is episode 21. I'm Will.
And I'm Jim.
And I'm Ian.
Welcome back to the Everyman guys to episode 21, where we are going to discuss the current Philadelphia Phillies situation. But before we do...
Oh, yeah.
Everyone shut up, because before we do... Ian, how was your week?
It's been pretty good. I mean,
Ian's week.
I haven't done too much.
Too much out of the ordinary?
Yeah.
Just like hockey stuff, mostly, of the playing
Hockey,
variety.
Xbox with Jim.
Getting annihilated on MLB.23.
I beat him. We went back and forth.
I was going to say, we only got annihilated once.
7-1.
10-0.
I was going to say...
7-1 and 10-0.
I was going to say, it was like, what night was it, Thursday night?
No, it was last night, because we played Thursday night.
No, I'm saying Thursday night,
Yeah.
Jim sends me a picture, and it says, all the picture says is, this game has been ended due to mercy rule.
Well, Jeff switched up my rules, so I had several overthrows.
Well, it was Framber Valdez on the Houston Astros, so I felt revenge coming. So I needed to annihilate him
He
to
shows
death.
me. He shows me. Ironically, this podcast is about the Phillies. He shows me, and he's the Braves, and you're the Astros.
Well,
I'm
we
like,
said about how like we don't want to play as the same teams all the time. So we're
Yeah.
like, all right, let's switch it up.
Can you do where you like do like a randomized team,
Yeah,
like the same way you do in like MLB and stuff,
Yeah.
or
that's
NFL?
what we're playing. We're playing in the MLB.
One of my Jim, how was your week?
I beat Ian a lot, and we started our new podcast setup, and we did that, and that's amazing.
So
and
everything is
so
good, kind of after that.
Yeah. So everything after that was all sunshines and roses, and we were hanging out last night. It was a good time. We had a good time last night. We went to Kelly Drive.
Oh my gosh,
Not Ian. Ian didn't do anything with us because he hates us outside of the podcast. But yeah, it's been a good week. How about yours, Will?
My week has been really good, mostly because of the podcast situation, and finished my 10th day of 75 hard yesterday. Today is day 11.
How easy has
that's
it been?
Good. It's been hard.
75 hard?
But I do have to say, I had a dream last night.
He had
I really want to tell you guys about
I
it.
actually had a dream.
I really want to tell you guys about it. Okay, so we're at the mall, right? And we are sitting on just like a bench while Gnome was in a store. And it was like me, you, and Paula.
Barely see my face.
And Patrick Mahomes and Jackson Mahomes come up to us and start talking to us. And like Jackson Mahomes is like trying to tell us who he is.
And we don't
And
believe
we're
him.
like, dude, that's for Patrick Mahomes. He just went in that store. And then we go in and everyone's like trying to get a picture and stuff. And then we're waiting in this long line to get like in a picture with him. And then all of a sudden, like, we're not. But it was pretty unreal. And it was like so like.
So you met Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, it was cool.
In other words, Will met Patrick Mahomes. So that's how his week's going.
But yeah, that was my dream.
That's awesome.
Anyway, coming off of we need to get better at like smoothly going out of a topic and then into another topic. But
Yeah,
anyway.
well, Will had a weird dream last night. The Phillies have been starting. They started 0-1 this year.
So 10 days into 75 hard. I will say that
Half
the
of our
reading is probably what's getting me the most, because it's like you realize all of a sudden that like any time that you're on your phone, aside from getting done whatever you need to get done in the day, like you have an opportunity to be reading at that point. So at my lunch break, I started reading rather than be on my phone. And it's funny because like you find like the, whatever you might call it, like the what time wasters throughout your day, where you could fill it with either drinking some of your gallon of water or reading.
Right.
But yeah, other
I
than
thought
that,
you have to take time out of your day to drink.
I would say like Saturday, it's tough to
I just do it
find
while I
time
go.
to work out because usually
Saturday.
busy on Saturday. But the working out hasn't been a challenge yet, only on the weekend. So yeah, today's day 11. I'm excited.
It's great, bud.
Didn't have a ton of energy yesterday. Was feeling majorly like I was at the gym and just completely whooped. Like didn't have
me
it.
every day at the gym.
Just didn't have it. But
I love this soundboard.
I have a couple more intro notes, but like, should we maybe just like cut the intro notes a little bit short when we have like multiple people on?
Sure.
Okay.
I don't care.
Because one of my intro notes was MLB 23, and we kind of already talked about it a little bit, but MLB 23.
MLB 23.
And that's the intro
That's
notes.
the intro notes. That's all of them. That's all. That's it.
Yeah, intro notes. All right. Jim, you being the hardcore Phillies fan for the longest, I would like you to bring us in because I have 5 points to discuss. But do you got like a Phillies intro for us?
A Phillies intro?
Yeah.
The Phillies went to the World Series
Phillies
last
intro
year.
in 10 words.
In 10 words. Amazing words. Phillies got Trey Turner. Crap.
And
Alec Bohm put on
a show.
lots of muscle. We're close.
Harper back
That's it.
soon.
That's more than 10. But yes. The team is exciting. Watching Thursday, they lost, but the team is exciting. The only problem
you guys
I have,
watched the whole game, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's opening day for the
I
Phillies
saw that.
season
Yeah, I
after
saw
the
that you
World
were
Series.
home, but I just didn't know about Ian.
You see this man over here? Do you see him?
That's fair. That's fair. He's decked out right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that that yes, the whole game was watched. The issues I have, we'll discuss.
Yeah, we'll discuss.
We'll discuss.
So
Yeah.
that's good that you said that the team is exciting because
Yes.
my first topic, this team or the 08 team. All right, you don't have to give an answer.
go
Let's
to
just
Ian.
start from the base,
Go to
and
Ian.
we'll make our way up to our answer. Okay.
Okay.
So there needs to be an understanding.
Okay. Go
Okay.
to Ian because the understanding needs to be
All
there
right.
first.
Ian, don't give us a this or that. Give us a story.
Give us an understanding
Give us
of
an understanding
the 08 team.
of your thought
Your
process.
understanding because you were how old
But yeah,
were you?
I'm not
young.
even old enough I don't
To-
know the 08 team.
Right.
Other than through video, so I'm going to have to pick this
This team.
year's. But
Yeah, that's
I
true.
mean, look at the offense, and we didn't even have Reese or Bryce Harper. So
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
Exactly.
We had Utley and Rollins. Utley and Howard. More like, but
yeah, I mainly knew Ryan Howard from when he was terrible. So.
Exactly.
that's
yeah, that's
funny.
the issue.
That's funny to think about that.
We
That,
know
like, he
Ryan
doesn't
Howard
really
is a
have much
hero.
experience.
Yeah.
Jim, you go ahead.
Well, it's sort of along the lines of Ian, but I was 8 when the 08 team. So it was like I loved the 08 team, but it's like I don't know. You have Bryce Harper on the team,
Yeah.
and he's not like and Trey Turner and like Utley and Rollins were the best. Utley was the best second baseman in baseball.
Yeah.
Rollins was a good shortstop, wasn't the best. Cole Hamels was one of the best pitchers in base.
Yeah,
But
I
at
would
the
say-
time,
I would
he was
say at
still.
the time.
He was still. Yeah, at the time, he was still there. So I would say that, and Brad Lidge was literally
Easily
didn't,
the
didn't
best.
blow a save all year.
Yeah.
So he's the best reliever all year. But this year,
okay.
Thursday opening day aside, Aaron Nola is one of the best pitchers, top 10 pitchers in the league. Zach Wheeler, top 10 pitcher in the league. Now, if you're talking about the best pitching staff we've ever had, that's Cliff Lee, Roy Halladay, and Cole Hamels.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But if you just talk about total team all around, you have the number one shortstop in the league. You have the number one right fielder in the league, and no one can tell me any different. When he's on, he's the best
Didn't
hitter in
even
the
really,
league.
yeah, I was gonna say not really off very often.
And yeah, even losing Reese, I think Castellanos is going to have a bounce back year, and I love Castellanos. Schwarber is probably my all-time favorite Philly, just in 1 year. Which is,
yeah.
I know Utley is Hall of Fame to me.
Yeah.
So, but he's not playing right now. So,
Why-
like active players, Schwarber is just
What is it about
such-
Schwarber that you?
just his vibe.
Yeah,
just his.
He
vibe.
love
does. He
his
does
vibe,
give
but,
off
like-
that like that energy that's just so easy to like
Yes.
go along with.
I
know,
think I
the-
still have to put Harper up there, though.
Yeah, I think the reason it's not Harper for me right now is just because Harper is the best player.
Yeah.
Is the best player, and I know he's the
Yeah.
best player. So, like, it's
At
like
this point, you're like picking
it's like movies.
like you're like picking personalities,
Exactly.
because you have so many. Like,
Reese is my favorite. Was my favorite for a while, but Schwarber last year just was like
Yeah.
Like I just get his vibe. Like
No, I totally agree.
Harper is just ultra focused all the time.
Yeah.
And Schwarber is focused, but he's like, you know what I mean? Like during the games when he's yelling because he's annoyed, because like, and that's just like during interviews,
Yeah.
and you see him during the celebrations. He's just the best.
No, I would say like I'm sort of along the same lines, but like it's interesting for me because like I wasn't into the Phillies until last year. Last year was the first year I got into it at the beginning of the year, so it was the perfect time to do it. It wasn't like planned out or anything. It just kind of happened that way. But like when I was younger, it was like Phillies were one of my favorite teams.
Right.
So it was easy to follow that '08 team throughout the entire, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Throughout the entire 10 years or whatever.
Exactly.
But yeah, like last year getting into the Phillies and now this year, I'm like, I've never felt the same way. And like going to the World Series game.
Yeah.
That was also like,
Oh yeah. And
majorly eye-opening, like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And then this year coming in, I've never been more excited for opening day.
Yeah.
And the players, like, I know all the players.
Yeah.
Minus some relief pitchers and stuff like that.
New bench
but,
guys.
Yeah. Like this year is I don't think I can say that it's better for me yet, just because I knew the '08 team for so long. And you loved everyone on the team. Pat Burrell, like, was he a star left fielder?
Yeah.
Like, no.
He was the Scott Kingery, but better of that day.
And it was like Pat Burrell, Jason Worth, Eric Bruntlett.
Yeah.
It's like, so I
Jason
don't know.
Worth was
I
the
feel
guy.
like I'm as excited.
Shane Victorino. Let's not leave Shane Victorino out of
But
that.
I feel like Shane Victorino is one of the guys that's like at the top of
definitely.
most people's lists.
Definitely.
But I don't know. I feel like I need to stick with this team for a little bit longer before I can say, this team, because it was just, knew the '08 team.
Another
for so
guy
long.
that people might like you said, give off the vibes. Castellanos can give off some good vibes when he's on. Like, he was off the whole year, so no one really saw anything.
Yeah.
but-
Yeah, when he was on the red zone, the Cubs.
exactly.
I do have to say, his last at bat was pretty terrible.
There's
Like Jim and I were talking, I was like, this swing. It almost seemed like he was just swinging just to swing.
Yeah.
But his first couple of bats, you could tell, like, it looked a little better than last
He's
year.
ready for like a comeback season.
What I will say though, this team, with the difference with you, and I feel like this is us too, why we're gonna pick this team, because I'm picking this team. Spoiler alert, and Ian already did. Is we watched this team get built. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't.
That's kind of exactly why
like,
I would say the '08 team.
Exactly.
That's a good point.
Like, I didn't have a phone back
like
then.
that.
I didn't read the newspaper or whatever. So I didn't know like the team that well until I watched them on my television.
Yeah.
I know the team. You know what I mean? I see all the players. I follow all the players. I like am so invested in every time I'm looking, okay, what's the lineup? I see the lineup before every game. You know what I mean? Like I think I just know. It's like these guys, and it's like that's to me is like the best feeling. So I would say that this team for sure is like.
I feel like also
Chase Utley is my favorite all-time player, but this team is my favorite team over the '08 team.
And it almost seems like this team is I don't know if it's like a more skilled, but like it almost seems like they were. I don't know.
The
Maybe-
08 and 09 teams were legitimately just some of the best teams of all time.
Yeah. I think that's true because like the '08 team was, you knew they were going to make it to the World Series. Sort of.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of feel like they
You
were
had
kind of
that
dominant.
They were dominant till like 2011.
But they both had like the same like energy going in. Like it was like they were just sort of like the Eagles winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It was just like they all were
Anytime
just playing
Philly
together
goes-
so well.
Yeah, anytime Philly goes to a championship, they're always overlooked or you know what I mean. They're not looked as dominant, but those Philly
Except
teams,
for the Eagles this year.
yeah, those Philly teams were dominant.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
those
sure.
years.
I have a question, and this is for you guys because you guys understand you guys have followed the Phillies before they got really good, longer than I have. Why is it that every year if I hear something about the Phillies before I was following it again, why is it that pitching is the issue every single year?
You can start with this one.
Farm system. Like,
Explain.
Yeah.
I forget who was their GM.
Matt
regardless,
Klentak.
yeah, I don't know what it was, but like so many of their first round draft picks have not turned out. And if you look at, say, the Braves, for example, now they just brought up 2 rookies to start.
Yeah.
Now that they have people hurt, and it seems like they always just turn into something. It's just like,
so it's the farm system.
Yeah, you have to be able to draft.
So it's just drafting is the issue.
But recently, and also just their development. But recently, what's his name? The pitching coach. He's been really good.
Such with like a C or K. Or
yeah.
Like that.
I can't remember his name.
I'll Google it while you guys are talking.
Yeah. He's developed guys really well the last few years. Like he's
well, you got Painter
and Suarez.
McGarry.
Suarez was not something that I was excited about.
Same.
But seeing him last year and the year before, he kind of had flashes, and then last year he was very good. It wasn't like elite stuff, but he was really good.
Well, in the playoffs, you wanted to see him.
Wanted to see him almost over Nola in the World
Who
Series.
are you talking about?
Suarez.
Oh yeah. Oh
Ranger
my gosh.
Suarez was so good. He pitched the game we went to the World Series game.
Yeah.
He does find himself in trouble often, but he always seems to get out of it.
I was gonna say he always like loads the bases, puts 2 on, and then just gets out of it somehow.
Yeah.
Caleb Cotham.
Yeah, Caleb Cotham. Yeah. He's been really good, and Chris Long, the hitting coach, Kevin Long, the hitting coach, has been a godsend. He's been so good with like Bohm and Stott. Even Stott. I think Bohm has odd saying this year, but I think Bohm has a higher ceiling than Stott.
I would say,
because he has the power, and Stott really doesn't have power.
I think he sees the ball a little better than Stott too.
I agree.
Yeah. Speaking of power, is Trey Turner? Was the home runs that he was just like demolishing in the World Classic? Was that like not the normal for him? Is he more of like a get on base and like doubles?
That's why he's the best shortstop in baseball. He is
because he has
all of
the
those
power.
things.
Well, he has power, but
because
they just showed it. He batted .298 all last year. Like,
holy cow! Yeah. How many home runs is he? Like, how many home runs are you thinking he's going to give you this year? Like plus 30?
20 to 30. I wouldn't say plus 30 because I don't need him to do that because Schwarber's going to do that. Schwarber's going to give you plus 30.
Schwarber's a bomb or not.
Yeah, yeah.
He's a bomb or nothing.
Well, the nice thing to see was Castellanos was a big double guy in the Reds, and that was a second at bat he got a double or something like that.
Yeah, so that's the thing with this team right now is you are kind of looking for where those home runs are going to come from, but I think Bohm and Castellanos give you at least 20 each.
And then at the end of your lineup, you have Real Muto, who's he got a triple.
He's actually at the beginning. He's like third.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So like he has some power, but he's not really a power guy.
Yeah, no.
Harper coming back is gonna be huge. Depending on when he comes back,
I was gonna say
30.
I just heard when they were the broadcast for the Phillies game, just opening day.
Yeah,
I heard that they said about us. He's on a 60-day,
10-day. He's not on the 60-day.
He's not on a 60-day. He's on a 10-day. So does that mean that he can come back within those days, or really?
That's why they did it because they want. He's
not going to, but they're saying they don't want to put him on 60 days, so he has to wait that long.
Till like May. Till the end of May is when he'll come back if you put him on the 60-day. But if you put him on the 10-day, you can keep just extending the 10-day.
When did he start his surgery? I know
November,
it was last
December.
year, but I just didn't know like how long he was.
When.
Right after the season ended.
So
pretty soon after.
So who's in our field right now?
Marsh, Castellanos, and I think Schwarber's going to be DHing a lot, so it's going to be Guthrie or Cave.
I was going to say I saw Cave, so he just came in.
We just got him from Detroit.
I was going to say was he
Detroit? I think he was. Was he on Minnesota at one point?
He might have been, yeah.
He might have been on the Twins.
And then we just I don't know if we traded for him or we just signed him.
Is he decent? Like I didn't know anything.
He tore up spring training. He was batting like .418 in spring training.
Holy cow!
Yeah, and he had a ton of he had like 7 home runs. But he's a bench player.
Yeah, he's definitely not.
He's definitely not like a starter.
Yeah. So as soon as Harper comes back, then you think
Castellanos
will move over there?
Harper's gonna be playing in.
That's actually one of my points. So if you
go for it.
What are your thoughts on for right now with Harper out, letting Schwarber go to left field, take out Cave, move Bohm to first and Sosa to third, DHing Derek Hall?
I will say this: I heard that before. I heard that from somebody. I don't want Bohm away from third base for that long.
Well, is Reese a free agent at the end of the year?
Yeah,
Do you know if we're bringing him back?
I don't.
Because then who are you getting at
Who
first
can
base?
you talk to find it out?
I would like
No,
to
I'm
talk.
saying,
To,
like-
I would listen. Reese is an invaluable part of this team, and I'd hate to lose him. People don't understand that. People act like he's just nothing.
If you don't understand it, I feel like you just have to watch the playoff run last year.
And you just have to listen to the people when he got hurt. Listen to every single player talk about him, what he
Yeah.
means to the team. Trey Turner's been here for like 3 months, and he said he's a huge part of our team. He's a leader.
Yeah.
And that's what they said all through the playoffs. Reese Hoskins,
And that's an underlooked thing.
Very much so.
Being just a positive presence for a team.
And Castellanos, who doesn't normally like talk a ton to the press, he was saying how happy he was for Reese.
Yeah.
Just being here with him and hearing him talk about it. And like last year, happy he was for Reese in the playoffs and how devastated he was this year that he was hurt. Reese means a ton to this team. And I think it might be false hope, but I hope keep Derek Hall or, play a platoon at first with Bohm at third, and then Reese comes back next year.
I'm not saying I definitely want to do it. I'm just asking.
Yeah, I like it, but I don't know if I like Bohm being away from first that much.
I heard also during the game that the same thing happened to Schwarber, where he got hurt in spring training and came back when he was on the Cubs.
Yeah.
And came back for the playoffs. Was it the same injury?
ACL, yeah.
And he was able to come back that year?
Yeah.
So then there's still a chance that Hoskins could be back.
There's still a chance for the playoffs.
Yeah, it's definitely not regular season.
Yeah.
No, that's kind of what I was expecting, but I just
He would
didn't know,
DH too. So Harper should be back in the field by then. So
Yeah.
he would I think he would DH. Because I don't know if you want to risk that. Just have
I
the
thought
bat
I
in
saw
there.
one headline that Harper's not going back to the field for a little while.
But he's not going back till at least August, is what I heard. So
at
he's
least
going to come in
August,
and
okay.
DH. But I think by the end of the season, Harper, like I'm saying, if Reese
Okay,
comes back
yeah.
for the playoffs, I think you could have him DH because I think
Yeah.
Harper. That's what I miss. I
Yeah.
miss Harper in the field.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not like amazing, but in the field, but
He gives that energy in the
he's
field.
also. It's not that he's bad, obviously.
Yeah,
He's got
exactly.
a cannon too.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, he does.
Jim, you haven't given a topic yet, so you want to slide in one of your
I'll
topics
slide
at this
in a
at this
topic,
time
sure.
because I still have a couple more that I could go over. But
Same.
It's more so. My first one was when we all started getting into the Phillies. That was my question. Like I guess to Ian. Like was it like right away or was it like?
yeah, that's a good question for you, just because
Getting into the Phillies.
Yeah, just getting into
because you obviously missed out on like
the
one
World
of the
Series.
best
Oh, you mean like my
errors.
whole life? Like when did I first get
when
Yeah.
did you start getting into them? Because it was
Yeah,
hard.
always,
There's-
like my
yeah.
dad would always put on the Phillies for us.
Right.
Like we listened to him, watched them.
That's like
I've grown up around the Phillies.
it's
like,
so
the
funny
whole time.
because like he grew up with a terrible Phillies team,
Right, yeah.
and we grew up with like the best Phillies team that there's ever been,
Yeah, definitely.
and it's like crazy.
Well, I think
to
that's why I love this team so
You know
much.
what's funny?
Yeah,
Because
that's
they're
his.
fun.
Yeah,
You know what's funny is like he missed out on all the Flyers too.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
And that's why like you
Yeah.
don't even care about the Flyers really at all.
We
Like,
were a
for
Flyers
the most part, right? Like
our families were Flyers.
same, yeah,
families.
yeah.
Like for me, it was always like they would switch. Like during the winter,
It would
was
depend
Flyers,
on what the
Flyers.
season was.
Yeah,
what
during the
season it
summer,
was.
Phillies all the way.
Yeah.
And my family wasn't huge Phillies fans, huge baseball fans, but like nobody wasn't a Phillies fan
Yeah.
during 2008 to 2013.
Yeah, well,
It was sort of the same as it was last year,
Yeah.
or maybe even more.
for an extended period.
Like
For such an extended
everyone
period.
was a Phillies fan.
well.
I think that's how like our family just went from Phillies all through the summer, and then it was Sixers and Eagles,
Right.
And then it was back to the Phillies. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
we played hockey all the time. It's just we didn't.
You didn't really
and,
care
like,
to
'cause
follow
Yeah.
the
Obviously, they weren't
Flyers.
amazing. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
not that you only like teams because they're amazing. We just weren't into.
So
Yeah.
Jim,
Following the hot
did you
Flyers
I
anyway.
guess
Yeah.
never stopped being into the Phillies?
No, I mean the years that they sucked, it was hard to like be as like excited
You
about.
still
it.
understood what was going on. or
Yeah, that's
whatever.
why these years are so awesome. Is because I've never been this excited for an opening
Mm-hmm.
day. I've never been, last year's playoff, even the year before,
Yeah.
last year's opening day, I was excited for it because I was going, but I was like, I'm positive about the team, but like they always have the September collapse and everything. Like that was what happened last year. We didn't get the playoffs because of collapse in September. Now I know that they can get past it. Now I know that they've been there and they literally went to the World Series the first year they get back to the playoffs. So this year it's just the excitement is through the roof because I've waited and we've all waited and waited for 11 or 13 years of horrible teams to now have one of the best teams in the league, have one of the best lineups in the league. The pitching, like I said, scares me, but I think it's going to be solid. I think Dombrowski's looking to add something to it, the rotation.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people forget about Taiwan Walker. He's not amazing, but like he's not bad. And
he's going to be starting the third game or fourth.
I was going to say, is he currently a starter or is he like?
Well,
Starter.
Suarez is out, so I'm wondering if he's starting.
He's probably third. Yeah. Yeah. So that's what.
Because
like,
I think
Matt
Strahm might be coming into the starting rotation.
Yeah. This is amazing because we've literally never really deep dived into sports, and now we're like talking
about
sports. Guys, talking sports.
For me, it was after the 2011 loss. It was like I guess it was like I don't know what it was really, but none of my friends were into the Phillies. It was pretty much just me at the time. So after that 2011 loss to the Yankees, it was like I slowly started fading
2009
out.
to the Yankees.
2009. What was 2011?
2011 they lost to the Cardinals.
And that was in the playoffs.
Ryan Howard tore his ACL.
Sorry. Yes. After basically the end of that team era, it was just like basically when they got rid of Utley, he was first, right? Or was it Howard? Or Utley lasted the longest, maybe. I'm trying to remember.
Ruiz lasted the longest from that team.
Yeah. Whoever the first person was that they got rid of, and then it was like you knew that the next guys were going to be gone too.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, I'm like, all right, well, this era is kind of done. I wasn't really playing baseball anymore. So from 2011 pretty much until the 2022 season, 2021, I had said to you, I was like, I'm gonna watch Phillies. I watched like maybe 20 games total.
Yeah.
And it was like, I just can't get into it.
Yeah.
And then last year I watched opening day, and that was when Schwarber hit the.
I was there. Yeah, Schwarber hit the leadoff bomb.
And then I was like, all right, this is kind of the Phillies that I want to watch, that I want to be excited about.
You were at my house for Rumuto's game winning, or at least game
like there was
going
so
ahead
much
Mets game.
There were so many
moments
throughout the year that it was like kind of already brought me in, and then they made the playoffs, and then we got together and watched the Cardinals series, and we watched pretty much every playoff series together, and I was just like, I love this team, and I love the Phillies, and it was like I haven't had that feeling since 2008.
And then the World Series game cemented it for you.
And then I was just like, I'm thoroughly looking forward to next year, this year. And opening day, like again, Thursday was still awesome.
Yeah.
Like they really did play extremely well. And then that's why one of my topics was, why is it that it's pitching every single year? And it seemed like pitching is what screwed us over.
Yeah.
Because we scored 7 runs. It wasn't like they didn't do their job on offense, but
the pitching is people were getting on Gregory Soto. The issue is if Nola only can go 4, which is horrendous. You can't have Nola going 4 innings, only 4 innings. But then you bring Gregory Soto into it such a high leverage situation the first day, and it's like I don't blame him because throw strikes,
Yeah.
throw strikes, right? Start throwing strikes right away. Stop with the 30 miles outside the zone. But I don't think that was that was not a good outing from Soto, but I don't think that it's like that's indicative of him. A lot of people were like, "Oh, here's Soto. This is what we were trying to warn you." It's like,
well,
I don't think it's indicative of what he is.
I think is good, but I have heard like
he does walk a lot of guys.
Almost like the Alvarado of a couple years ago, where he's just like he can throw 100, but he just doesn't have the command.
Yeah, that's another thing that Alvarado. Like me watching the Phillies last year, I saw the progress of him in just a year, and that was like shocking. I was like, I didn't actually expect a pitcher to be able to go from, not that he was like terrible.
He was terrible.
But,
He was terrible.
Maybe before you saw, but he was terrible.
But like now it was like he was the guy that you wanted in.
And
And it was just dominant.
The only reliever that I'm like dead set on, I haven't seen him yet, is Dominguez. Like I'm just, the jury's still out on Soto. I don't know. Alvarado could be terrible this year. I don't know. Like relief pitchers are like that.
It's just nasty.
It's disgusting, and he has the control.
Yeah,
that's the one thing you know about Dominguez. He has control, and it's just whether he's healthy or not. Kimbrel is older, but he is a 7-time All-Star or whatever it is. I think he's going to be good. The biggest fear is if Nola is going to be. Nola's always going to have Nola games, and that's why he'll never be considered elite.
Yeah,
he'll always be very, very good, but he will never be elite because he always, every year, has at least 2 or 3 of these Nola games where he doesn't go more than 4 innings and just.
Yeah, well, I think it's just like
he hits a wall.
Yeah, he's like dominant for 5 innings.
Yeah,
and then it's just like someone gets a hit, and it's just like pile them on.
I was gonna say it's like
somebody said
seems like just like it takes one, and then it's like a domino effect.
He's easily flustered. I think. He's easily knocked off his rhythm. But somebody said, Thompson should have taken him out earlier. It's your starter on opening day. Why do you want to take him out in the 4th? I'd keep him in there if they scored 20 runs. Like, but it's just my point is like you don't want to have to pull your starter out.
The reason I would say you shouldn't have is because wasn't the home run a 3-run home run?
I think so. Yeah.
So like, you're still up what? 3 or 2 at the time. Like it's not.
Yeah.
If it was tied up, I'm taking them out.
Right.
But.
Yeah, I agree, but I just that's the one thing I'm going to be worried about this year. Wheeler's on the mound; he's always on.
Yeah.
During the regular season, I don't think Wheeler's ever not like fully on. But
when is he starting?
Today.
Today.
Yeah.
What time is the game today?
4:05.
4:05. Nice.
So yeah, that's exciting. But I think what we're looking for this year is, I mean, Trevor Bauer would have been nice, but he went over to Japan. But I think he's looking to get a trade going with somebody to get another pitcher, because if Suarez is going to be dealing with this all year.
Yeah, and Painter's down, put away right now.
Painter, I do not show me Painter this year.
Really?
Don't show me Painter until like the very end of the year. Because if that's what I think it is, elbow soreness, like I don't want to rush him. I don't want him to do something to his arm.
I don't want to rush him, but I'm just saying, like, if he's healthy, I'll see him. Like, doesn't matter.
Was he traded for? Or is he part of the farm system?
He's a farm system guy.
Yeah, he's
him,
the number
Abel,
one
and McGarry
system.
Yeah,
I
he's the
think I
number one
remember
guy in the
hearing about
league.
him earlier.
Painter's the number one pitching prospect in the league.
Oh, really?
In the whole MLB.
Wow.
Because he can throw. He's a DeGrom. He can throw 100 miles an hour and paint the corners.
I was gonna say, can he paint with the strike zone?
He is a painter.
Nice.
But
He didn't even hit the button for the gym.
Oh, come on, Jim. Such a waste.
But DeGrom, watching DeGrom, and he's seeing us hit him around is nice. But DeGrom did prove to me that he's still the best pitcher.
Oh, dude.
Baseball.
He winds up and just goes like this, and then it just like shoots out of his hand.
The guy can throw.
Some people, like, almost Alvarado, you can tell he's just trying to, like, hum it in there.
That's why he doesn't have any
just,
control.
like, throws it, and it's just like...
Yeah.
I think that's what people don't understand. The 2 things people don't understand about baseball, I think, mostly is it's impossible for you to hit the ball. For us to hit the ball, it's impossible for us to hit the ball in a major league setting. It's unbelievable. That's why when people say how boring it is, the reason I love it is just sitting there and watching a pitcher pitch. Like the cat and mouse of being like, okay, this is my sequence to try and get you to swing, and the mental games that are going on. Like, it's the greatest sport to me in the world, because like it's just like that intensity is just like Suarez last year in the playoffs, pitching to Harper, like that changeup that goes in and comes that's a pitch that Harper's always going to swing at and try to rock it down the park. He takes it. You know what I mean? Like that, and Suarez is like, okay, I gotta refine the zone because I'm in the, I have too many balls. I gotta try, and you know what I mean. And then you just see Harper, like he knows he pitches me that changeup, he's going to a fastball away. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and he just, it's that cat and mouse of like Suarez is like, okay, I'm gonna try and get him with a fastball away, and Harper just knows it. He's just like, okay, I know that he's going there, and just tattoos it to the other side of the park. Like I just love that's
it's like I feel like you have to have a high knowledge of baseball to actually appreciate.
Absolutely.
It's like the same thing with basketball. Like
Right.
people could say, "All right, well, you just go down one end and then they come down the other and then come down." It's like, yeah, but like you don't understand the
intricacies
the
of
game
it.
that's going on within the game.
Yeah.
But I will say that you said about pitching, watching you Darvish pitch. Last year, like because I didn't watch I didn't pay attention to it a lot, but
Yeah.
like for some reason it was just like I was watching that game obviously because
Right.
it was a really important game for us. And I was just like honestly blown away by like it looked like he was throwing like one of those not like wiffle balls.
Yeah, yeah.
It was just like holy
I know.
cow.
Well, that's
the
what I'm
movement
amazed
on the
with is-
ball
yeah.
is absurd.
Pitchers like the stuff that goes into like throwing it just to get it to curve or
Yeah.
this way,
Yeah.
that way.
Like they're throwing it
Like-
and their hand like looks like
That's what I'm
this
saying. Like
coming off.
you can learn the grip, but it's all about how it like comes
Your
out.
arm-
You
yeah.
have to have your arm straight this way or curved this way.
Yeah.
And you also see how they tear their UCL so much because you just watch the whip action on their arm.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it's
I
Watch
know,
just
like
it's
those
the-
slow motion videos and it's
Yeah.
like, oh my god.
Well, like
you
I've
see-
looked up grips so many times. We'll go
Yeah.
out back and just try and throw and see if we
Yeah.
can. But it's like
It's all
you
about
have
your
to
arm
know-
angle and your release point, and it's like a science. It's a science for sure. And like that's why so
Yeah.
many people for years they use the sticky stuff because you get velocity on that ball and you get grip on it. You could spin the crap out of it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They were saying there's like it almost doubled the amount of movement it had by using like
Yeah.
sticky. So like that's you're always looking for an edge. You're always looking for an advantage. And I think like you Darvish with his off speed stuff is probably the best off speed pitcher in the league. And one of maybe not the best, but I think DeGrom is the best just overall pitcher.
Yeah, well,
by
he's
a
on-
large
yeah,
margin.
I
by
don't
a
put
large
anyone near
margin.
DeGrom,
If
really.
you can put 100 miles an hour in the top right corner, just paint it there.
Yeah.
It's just disgusting. And that's the crazy thing is how much control he has for throwing 100 miles an hour.
Yeah. It's funny because I don't really remember a ton of pitchers like back when the like around like the '08 era. Like I don't remember a ton of pitchers other than Mariano Rivera.
The greatest.
Like I remember like him being like absolutely absurd. But like I don't feel like the pitching
Yeah.
is like as powerful as it is. I could be totally wrong, but I'm saying like now it's like noticeable to me.
I don't
but
know.
It was probably
Yeah.
more of like a not just paying attention enough, but
Roy Halladay.
it like
was-
really sticks
Roy
out. now.
Halladay was
Mm-hmm.
disgusting. Roy Halladay was nasty. Young Cole Hamels was had some really nasty stuff. CC Sabathia was really
Yeah,
good in
I
that time. Yeah, there were a lot of good
I
guys.
feel like I know another one, but I
Do you do
think
you have
of it.
another topic that you like to cover? Because I have another topic that I wanted to go to at
Alright,
some point. But I wanted to give you an opportunity to give another topic idea.
Did you? Did you really?
I did
That's good.
because
Okay.
I'm that kind of guy.
this year, do we have a better chance, Phillies obviously, at a Cy Young winner or an MVP?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's a good. Can we get the applause for that question? I like that question. That's a good one.
Okay, we're gonna flash back though. We're gonna flash back to Ian getting the idea for that question. I should ask a question: whether we have a good Cy Young winner or a MVP candidate.
That was very buttery smooth,
terrible.
Jim. That was like the most buttery smooth thing you've ever said. Where's the trumpet? Do the trumpet. Yeah, there it is. All right, Jim. You can take it away. You're the only one that wore a jersey, so I feel like you get like first dibs. at
and
these
I'm like in the
questions.
center, right?
Yeah, you're like the most important one on the show.
Well, I talked about my issues with the pitching already, and I thought Nola was going to have a Cy Young like year. I still think he can.
But you don't think he will.
I don't think he will now because coming out in that opening game and being that shattered that quickly, it's rough. I would say that when you have Trey Turner on your team, the chances that you have an MVP every year on your team are just always higher than anything else. So I think we're closer to an MVP candidate because I think Trey Turner is going to win MVP.
I feel like the little that I do know about the pitching, because I feel like I know this much more about everything else than the pitching.
Right.
I feel like I would say the exact same thing. One of my topics was actually is who do you think is going to end up being better, Trey Turner or Bryce Harper, like at the end of their run? Because
we'll save that question. We'll keep going with the MVP
because here's my deal. That's that right there is exactly why I would say MVP.
Right.
Because currently we're questioning who's like.
Yeah.
I feel like Trey Turner and Harper at some point are going to be battling for MVP in a year.
Here's
On
the
the
thing,
same
though.
team.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
It's Goldschmidt and Arenado last year.
Yeah.
But here's what I'd say. Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler are the two of the best pitchers in the league. Top 10. The issue is with the pitching is it's those two, and then it's Taiwan Walker, who's really good. Suarez, who is kind of injured. We're not sure what's going on. And then who? You know what I mean? You have Matt Strom, who's a bullpen guy, who's a really good bullpen guy, but he's a bullpen guy. And then you don't really have any backup after that except for the young guys in the minors. Bailey Falter, but I'm not sold on Bailey Falter.
Hasn't really done enough.
But Zach Wheeler could easily win a Cy Young any year because he is that elite.
Which year was it that he was
2021?
Something. Yeah,
2021. He was
Just
literally
there.
second in MVP voting. He could have won easily. His numbers were right up there.
Yeah.
So Zach Wheeler, I think, out of our pitching staff, Zach Wheeler is the closest to a Cy Young. Out of our other players, I mean, Bohm could be an MVP candidate this year. With how well he's looking and how well he started spring training coming into this year. I'm just saying that's like a dark horse.
I definitely need to see more. But
absolutely. That's like a dark horse MVP candidate.
I would say
has
definitely.
potential.
Definitely.
Him and Turner, and then Harper depends on how early he gets back. That's really all it depends on for him for MVP. Because he could be an MVP every year.
Yeah. Can you even win an MVP? Like, I wonder what, like,
Well, he missed a lot of time in 2021. Did he
Yeah.
not? He missed like 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, but that's not really a lot in terms of
in
like
the middle of
160.
But he
plus.
also had a terrible first half, but just an unbelievable second half. So that kind of that won him the MVP his second half. So how much does the first half matter?
Right.
That
That's
could be
fair.
something, I don't really know.
Hey, what do you think?
I think I have to go MVP.
Just because
Well, Shohei's not in our conference, so that helps.
true.
But
so you're
I'm
more
just
looking at
not
like the
sold
other
on-
pitching.
yeah, I'm not sold on Nola or Wheeler. Like they're really good, but I don't know that they're Cy Young. Like they can be, but I just don't know that they are.
Right.
Trey Turner, 30 home runs and batting 300 on a year. Like that's crazy.
That's
Harper is, I don't know, top 5.
Well, I mean, he already
league,
has the
like-
swing of his life, so like, can he?
Can he have the second swing of his life?
I mean, if you say Ohtani and Trout, can you
They're-
put Harper could be third in the MLB.
Yeah,
Like
that's
so
why
he can
it's
win
an
MVP every single year.
Yeah,
Turner, he hasn't, but he could.
yeah.
I definitely think I have to go
MVP. Yeah, I feel like I would agree. Like again, I don't know as much about the pitching as you guys do, but just because I haven't really looked into it too much, but just from knowing the other sides of it, like the fielding side of it, it's hard to even look at the pitching side and say, we would have a better chance at that.
Yeah.
Like the MVP opportunity is like so high.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go to your. You brought it up in the middle of that.
Okay.
I want to talk about this one. 'cause
Okay,
this is a good one.
You want me to say it again? I'll say it again, just for dramatic effect. I will say, who do you think has a better opportunity to win MVP on the Phillies? Trey Turner or Bryce Harper?
Win MVP or be better long term?
That's
That's
what
what
it is. Who's going to end up being a better Philly? Trey Turner or Bryce Harper?
Ian,
Deep breath. Ian, you can go first because Jim has a jersey on.
I think
it's true.
Trey Turner will end up being the better Philly, just better defender, higher average. But Harper, I think, will be the most loved Philly.
That's a very good way
wait.
to put it.
I don't think
I'll wait.
anyone from, say, my generation, maybe even yours, will love any Philly more than Harper for a long time. Like, after that postseason and like everything, I don't know. I think Turner could be a better player overall, but I think Harper's definitely the most loved.
I agree with the most loved thing, and I agree that Turner could very easily be the best, the better player. Here's what I'll say about Harper, and here's what I'll say about a lot of guys in the league. Trey Turner is very, very good. He is the best player, best shortstop in the league. Look at the Team USA team, though. Everybody didn't go, even after that Grand Slam, even after he hit freaking home run after home run, they were like, Trout's the guy.
Yeah.
Right? Trout's the guy. So on a team where he's with Harper, there are guys who just put their team on their back and says, let's go. I don't think Turner's that guy. I think Turner's that role playing, not role play, because he is the best shortstop, but I think Harper is that guy. Look at the playoffs. He said, you guys want to go to the World Series? Let's go. Come with me.
Well, I feel like that's true. Like, I don't see Trey Turner as like just from the tiny bit that I've seen him. Some guys you get that, like Jalen Hurts.
Right.
You knew right away he's going to absolutely be in charge of this team, and he's going to take them wherever they're going to go. And like Harper, you can see that. Like he's absolutely that guy.
That
Trey Turner,
leader.
There's something about his personality because it is all personality.
Yeah, definitely.
Like you make that choice if you're going to be like a team leader and you're going to be like, all right, I'm going to take us where we need to go.
Exactly.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
That it totally comes off that way. That like Trey Turner is just, I'm going to be the best shortstop in baseball. And Harper's like, I'm going to be the best athlete in Philly.
Exactly. That's why I think, like you said, he'll be the more loved.
Well, I 100% agree, but I just think stats-wise, Turner might be a little bit better.
Yeah, and therefore could probably end up being a better.
That's the only reason I'm saying better Philly overall.
Because I think
he might have better stats.
Yeah, because I think the defensive side is what will give Turner that edge. Because I think offensively, they play very different styles offensively. But I think defensively is where Turner will get the edge is better Philly. Like, for example, it's kind of like the 08 team. Chase Utley was the best, like most loved Philly.
Yeah.
But I think, you could make a case for Victorino.
I was going to say,
Carlos Ruiz.
I know that team,
you know what I mean?
I'm telling you, was like a team full of personalities that everyone just loved.
That's kind of different because I think Utley was the most loved, and I think he was the best.
I think I agree. Well, Cole Hamels is like, I feel
Cole
like
Hamels is high. Ryan Howard is very high, like loved. So
Ryan
Ryan
Howard
Howard is
like,
the most loved one, but Utley was better.
It's funny that you guys say that because like watching the World Series video and stuff, and
who comes off as being the best?
Jimmy Rollins comes off as my favorite, like that I love the most.
Jimmy Rollins was
that's the thing
is
you can't like me personally, like I couldn't pick a favorite.
Yeah.
Like if you say who's your favorite, I would say Rollins, Utley, Howard, Hamels,
right,
Victorino.
Yeah.
But
I would say even though the 2008 playoffs, though, Victorino might have been the best player in those playoffs. One of the best.
What's his grand slam in the playoffs?
I think.
Yeah.
I think it was against the Dodgers, right?
I think so. Yeah, it was the playoffs though. No, it might have been against the Brewers.
I don't remember.
Know. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh crap! I was gonna say something, but I can't remember what I was gonna say. I think that Hamels was the best player on that team.
Really?
Like, again, like stats wise, like I don't know if he was necessarily the most loved or whatever, but I would say Hamels and probably Howard.
I think Utley was the best player overall.
Really?
Because Howard wasn't great defensively.
Yeah.
Utley was the
I wasn't big on stats when I was 8, 9, 10 years old.
Utley was legitimately one of the best second basemen in the league.
Yeah.
And one of the best hitters.
And best, I was going to say. And one of the best hitters.
But I think Harper and Turner.
Oh my gosh, dude. Talk about being one of the best second basemen. Did you ever see the video in the playoffs against the Rays when he faked it to first base?
That's such a good.
Oh my gosh, I remember seeing that live and just almost pooping my pants. Like, holy cow.
But I think with the Turner Harper thing, I think exactly what you said. Turner could easily go down as the best stats. Harper by far. You said like it might be. He's my favorite Philly. He's the great. In my opinion, he's the greatest Philly ever.
let's
I
fill
know
the
that,
comment
like-
section.
Yes.
Let's fill the comment section
Fill
with
it.
who is the best Philly athlete ever. Not right now, because right now it's kind of hard to beat
Right.
Harper and maybe Jalen Hurts.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say Jalen Hurts is putting himself up there.
Yeah,
Jalen
Jalen
Hurts
Hurts
is
is
great. A
like
lot of people
literally
love
the
him.
Yeah.
Harper version.
But I
of
think
mean,
though.
even
of
Embiid.
football.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
and people aren't into the Sixers. But
I was
like,
gonna say there's not as many
if
people.
people
into
were
the
into the
Sixers,
Sixers,
so I feel like
well, I
overall,
love the
yeah,
Sixers, so
same,
I
same.
love
I'm saying
Embiid,
like,
but like
overall, like it's very easily right now, Eagles and Phillies. I feel like
Yeah.
are like,
and I think even
at the
there,
top,
like Harper
which is
has that
crazy.
edge on Hurts, because I think there are still people who doubt Hurts.
I don't
Hurts'
think so.
ability.
I don't think so.
I think not.
I think
not
there are
me.
people out
There
there
are
that's-
definitely people who
yeah.
doubt his
Really?
ability. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. I've seen it. A lot of people. But
Well-
but even in but the thing with Harper is, people hate Harper in the national media, and players, they hate Harper. Like, he's an ego trip for sure. But there's nobody I'd rather have on my team in this current league than Harper.
Yeah.
He is he
even
is
Ohtani.
he just
well better player, obviously Ohtani.
Yeah.
But just
I know what you
vibe.
meant. I just needed to say.
Yeah.
but at the same time,
I would trade everybody on our team for Ohtani,
but at the same time though, like I feel like you
which is
need,
basically the Angels.
I feel like you need those guys though, like Harper, to get you
Yes.
through, because I can't be convinced that the reason Harper hit that home run had more to do with him just being that guy
Yeah.
than tracking a pitch and understanding.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, yes, that goes into it, but I feel like his just knowing that he's the man.
He was
like,
not going to hit that ball out.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
And like the Angels have Ohtani and Trout,
Right.
the two best players in baseball,
Right.
and haven't done anything.
Yeah,
And it's like,
I think
Well,
the Turner.
also with that, like, look at their team around them.
Yeah, the pitching
yeah,
is
I
you
know,
could
but I
say-
just mean like,
Because like so many, even in the NBA, different times you'll have like the Lakers the other year. They had LeBron and Anthony Davis, and they didn't do anything.
yeah.
'Cause they had
But
no
but
one
I feel
around.
like a lot of it is like Harper is just knows he's that guy,
Yeah.
and like his confidence and I don't
Here's
know,
what it
he
is:
just
you
like
need
kind
the
of
team around you to get
is
to that
dominant
moment.
for that
though.
reason.
You need that team around you to get to that moment. Like, the
Yeah.
reason Trout and Ohtani haven't
Oh,
been to
yeah,
that
of
moment,
course,
because
of course.
you need a Reese Hoskins.
right
you
there
need
too is
Zach Wheeler and
where
Aaron
pitching
Nola.
comes into.
Yeah.
The Angels haven't had pitching in a
Angels
while.
haven't had pitching
fair.
in years. But you know what? Honestly, though, the Harper and Turner thing makes me think is Real Muto. Real Muto is the best catcher in baseball.
I
so
know.
like,
I love
so
Real
like
Muto.
defensively, Real Muto is better than Harper. Offensively, they're like Harper has that next level, but I think
Yeah.
average wise, they're both the same when they're
They're
average
similar.
on. But who is always talked about as the best Philly? It's Harper, because Harper just has that attitude. It was like back
Harper
in the day.
is Philly.
Yeah, exactly. Like Simone Gagne for the Flyers was never. I don't think he'll ever be considered as one of the greatest Flyers of all time, because he was usually always hurt. But also, like, he was so good, but he was like role player. Like, he wasn't gonna. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like there are the guys on the team. I always think of Martin St. Louis and LeCavalier is on Tampa Bay Lightning, whatever. But back in 2004, LeCavalier was that team leader. He was the captain. He was going to go.
But you heard more about St. Louis.
St. Louis was better by far. He was way better. But you the guy who was like, okay, who's like the guy on that team? LeCavalier. He's the leader. He's the captain. He's the he's going to get things started. And that's
Dude,
Harper.
it's the same thing as like Patrick Kane and Jonathan Taves.
Jonathan Taves.
It's a lot like that.
Jonathan Taves was the leader. Kane was the better player.
Yeah.
I think another reason people go to Harper is because like his whole free agency thing, like everyone needed Harper to where Ramuto we just traded for him.
We
Made
got-
it a little
yeah.
bit just like
Yeah, made
less
that
known
season
or
sweeter.
whatever. Like,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Jim, do you want to throw? You only had like one topic that you talked about.
I mean, I
We're,
love
like,
your
closing
guys'
in.
topics. Mine are kind of just
We're
more
closing
like
in, but
personal.
I have one last topic that if you want to just.
I have outro. You guys.
Okay.
I
you
have
guys-
another one if
I have some
Yeah, I got
outros.
last one. Because we want to wrap this up shortly. New rules, thoughts. We can keep it short and simple. And then move
No,
on to your
no,
topic.
you can't. This is not going to be short and simple. You can do it.
a lot of people hate the no shift. I kind of like it,
Mm-hmm.
just because I'd rather see more. Not that I want it to be like 21-20 or something. I just
Yeah.
whatever. But pitch clock. kind of like I don't know why you wouldn't really like it, other than if you're a
I
pitcher.
agree. So far, two things you just said, I'm on board with.
The batting clock, I like. I kind of hate how they step out every single thing and redo their gloves. Balks in MLB The Show, I hate.
The only other rule
Trying
I
to think
can
of
think
the
of
other
is the larger bases.
Yeah, the larger bases.
Doesn't really affect.
I feel like
I think
it's
the
just a
only thing
safety
is
thing.
just also they already had way more steals just in opening day
Yeah.
than they've had.
Which I think
But
will make it more.
I think it makes it more entertaining.
More
And
entertaining.
having JT.
Yeah.
To be fair, to be honest, I'm on board with all of them.
My opinion.
Until we see a time where we're like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they were talking about on the broadcast about ways that they're like, they said, oh, the headset wasn't working. Like they were saying,
that was
imagine.
ridiculous.
Well, someone just struck out to end the game on a not getting in the box. in time.
Devers, Rafael
and it's
Devers
just
on
like,
Boston.
If that was the Phillies, I would
I'd be
hate
so
that rule
furious.
so mad.
Here's my issue. I have one issue with so the pitch clock. Everything else I'm cool with. I get it. The banning the shift, the bigger bases, the all that. The pitch clock, beginning of spring training, I talked to a lot of people and I said I hated it. I don't understand why they did it. Make it longer. So for the regular season, I did not even notice it last game for opening day. For the Phillies, barely noticed it.
I did only because I was
just at
looking
the
at
beginning.
it,
I was
looking
like,
for
oh, cool,
it. Like,
yeah. But here's my thing with the pitch clock
He's gonna dive in.
is you take away the intensity of Harper's home run last year with the pitch clock.
I guess so, yeah.
I think regular season wise, I don't think it matters. But I don't know. Like
Get
I
rid
talked
of it in
about
the
that.
playoffs?
I talked about that cat and mouse in the playoffs. I almost think that you just kind of like you rush that in.
But do you think that would I don't think that would remove the energy of it.
No, I think it's going to be exciting, but I think the issue is like it took a little while, but like Suarez getting ready, and you had that build up, and you're like, okay, Suarez is getting ready to, and Harper's doing the thing again, tapping the bases. You're like, okay, Harper's, you know what I mean? And it's just like, okay, let's. The issue I have though is also I get it because then like, oh, Suarez isn't ready. Okay, he called for time. Another 15, 20, 30, 15 minutes. Okay, all right, now he's ready. Okay, but. I just think I just worry that you may lose some of those high like holding your breath moments. But after seeing it a lot in spring training, after seeing opening day, I really was waiting for the regular season to start to see it fully. Mm-hmm. I saw it one game and it didn't really affect me. The game still felt like it was really long.
I agree. I don't know how much it really seemed like it sped it up.
Obviously, we know and he knows, but like about the intensity, a lot of people probably don't care about that.
But that's my issue is
I know.
I
I'm
think
just saying,
people
like, you have to
don't
be
like
into baseball enough
exactly.
to understand.
That goes
it,
back
like,
to what you were saying before.
That's why, and then I think they're really changing the rules for the fans. Like,
I agree, but I just hope that it's like okay, baseball hockey has changed throughout the years from what, and I was like, oh, it's a less physical, but I get it. It's more skill based now.
Yeah.
Football has changed for the big hits. You don't get them as much, but it's skill based. I don't know much about basketball. I don't really watch it. But baseball, my only issue with baseball is a slow sport. It is.
It's meant to be slow.
But that's baseball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's
totally.
baseball. So I'll get used to the pitch clock, and I won't even realize it by middle of the season. I won't even care.
Yeah, I feel like you're not going to.
But
even have
I
time
just
to
hope
think
that
about
this
it.
isn't like a next step towards like, okay, we're going to make even more changes to make the game
Make the
quicker,
pitch clock faster.
And it's like, listen,
Yeah.
keep this the way it is because baseball is pure. Like baseball is those. I'm not a purist in a lot of sports. Like I'm not like keep it the exact same, the exact way. Baseball, I'm just like, I had no issues.
Yeah.
I've had no issues from when I started being a fan to now. You know what I mean? I don't like Rob Manfred. I don't like the management of the sport. You know what I mean? Like, but rules wise, I never had an issue with anything. I never had a goalie interference issue. You know what I mean? With like the NHL for a few years, where it's like, oh my gosh, the goalie interference is just ridiculous. Pass interference in football, or hold it. You know what I mean? Like the rules, they're always like focus on these, and they kind of ruin the game sometimes. Roughing the passer. I don't need that in baseball. Like them reviewing that play yesterday was what I'm really scared of. Is like took 30 minutes to review whether he should get a strike or a ball on a pitch clock, like because the thing is broken.
But I think that's going to be like
ridiculous.
ironed out throughout though, because it was. Like,
I hope so. But
they can figure out. Like I feel like that kind of stuff is going to pop up.
Yeah,
and
I don't know
then
why
they're going
that.
to figure it out, and then it's going to be like smooth.
Yeah.
Smooth.
But at the same time, when you know you're getting pitch comm on the pitcher and catcher, just like, how do you not think of that? Like,
I know.
putting
How
in
do you
all the
not?
rules, just
Exactly. Because last year that happened a bunch. The pitch comp stopped working.
so
So
many
like,
times.
how do you not prepare for that?
And like, teams should have to or should be required to have a backup plan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it shouldn't be stop the game, fix it. It should be okay.
Yeah.
Well, this isn't working, so
Here's another one.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't even like the pitch comm that
I was
much anyway.
just gonna go on that. Like,
I don't like that.
I don't like. I guess you can hear the catcher talking, but like,
Yeah,
is it
they
that
do,
hard
like,
to really
the-
see the signs and stuff? Like,
I
don't
think
know.
they're trying to avoid sign stealing.
True, but like,
Just
Yeah.
get rid of the Astros. Teasing,
so-
everybody does it.
Is everybody cool? Slowly fading us out here. You had an outro note you wanted to give.
Just that I have already 4 games lined up this year to go to, and that's exciting because I love. There's
Yeah.
no better feeling, I don't think, in a sports arena than Citizens Bank Park. I would say it's my favorite ballpark.
It's such
Or
a
favorite-
relaxing.
I go to the Wells
going
Fargo
to a
Center.
baseball game is
Yeah.
in general is just like a
Yeah,
you're gonna
Even going
cheer,
down to
but it's gonna be
Washington.
like a chill like
yeah. Even going down to
fun
Washington, I was like, this is nice, but
it's not Citizens Bank.
it's not Citizens. But it was better. Like we just went to the Flyers game, and I love the atmosphere at a Flyers game. But there's just something about it. I'm like, I would rather be sitting in Citizens Bank Park right now
Yeah.
watching
Totally.
the Phillies. Even the Flyers won, but like it's not just watching the Flyers. It's just the feeling I get. in Citizens
I
Bank
agree
Park.
wholeheartedly.
Yeah, but I'll be at the Phillies game, the opening day, home opener, and I'll be the next game they play is Saturday. We'll be all down there. So
We're gonna go tailgate.
yeah. So we'll actually I'm gonna do some recording on Instagram.
Yes.
Of when I'm at the home
this
opener.
is actually going to be like sort of. I mean, you're seeing it because Ian's on the show,
Right.
But this will be like some of the first big noticeable
stuff.
changes
Yeah.
that you guys are going to see. Because
So I'm
Jim's
gonna be
gonna
doing live videos.
do like a vlog situation,
yeah, probably just Instagram stories and maybe a live video.
Instagram live.
Yeah, something like that on the Everyman Guys channel. So go
Yeah,
follow the
go
Everyman
follow
Guys
the Everyman guys.
on Instagram.
Yeah. And subscribe. Make sure you're subscribed because I'm sure there's a lot of people that watch these that are just following the link, watching, and then
Yeah.
not subscribing. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, like,
that
because
like.
that helps. Big things coming.
Big things coming.
Ian?
Big things coming.
Can we get an applause for Ian for being on the show? We're probably going to have him on next episode too.
Him and Jake, hopefully.
yeah,
And the camera setup is different, but we're gonna figure it out as we go, just as we did the other format when it was just James and I. But yeah, we're smoothly going out of this
Getting out of
episode. Yeah, Phillies. That was a good topic. I'm excited for more topics like that. But yeah. Was there
Yeah.
anything else you needed to add, bud?
I mean,
Nothing.
I have other topics, but
Yeah, but
they're
yeah.
gonna be going long. They'll probably
Jim,
go
you
too
didn't
long.
have anything
we
else
will
to
talk
add?
about the Phillies all year.
Oh yeah.
I did not
Because
have anything
I
to add.
had.
Will has something to add.
I think I have it in my notes.
Oh boy. You ready for this?
Oh wait, I already know what it is.
Oh what?
Do you know what it is? Because I know what it is.
What the one that you wrote down?
No, I think he's.
He might be confused. I think I know what it is.
The main thing that it is that. Thank you for watching the Everyman guys. We'll catch you on the next one.
Three-way.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yes, first one of season 2.
Yeah.